So I just wanted to come on and do a quick stitch with me. This is my Heaven and Earth Designs Train of Dreams that I've been working on. I don't know what's going on in my fabric right now. Okay. Okay. So I just wanted to stitch a little on this and sit down and kind of maybe do like another get to know you tag. So I looked up one online that I'll kind of read off of, I guess, and just stitch as I'm going or as I'm doing those questions. So the first question it has is, do you have any brothers? Okay, my family situation is really weird. I was adopted. So that being said, in my birth family, I have one brother. He's older. He's by 11 months. So he's just barely older than me. And in my adoptive family, so my adoptive parents got married, and they adopted me, and then they split actually when I was 2. So they got a divorce. My mom was remarried when I was little, and my stepdad brought with him. I have a brother that's my stepbrother, so my stepdad's son, and then my mom and stepdad have a son together. So I have 3 brothers. And the next question asks, of course, do I have any sisters? The short answer is yes. The long answer is I have 3 birth sisters. So they're all older. I'm the youngest in my birth family. And then in my adoptive family, I have 2 stepsisters, and I have 1 half sister. So she is my mom and stepdad's. And she's the one I keep bugging to make like a scrapbooking channel. Her name's Nicole, and she is like my best friend. But yeah, I'm in the middle of that family. Nicole's actually the youngest sister. And then my half brother is the youngest brother in that family. But I lie right in the middle. The third question that we skip to is, what is your favorite food? I love so many foods. I love anything with cheese. Cheese is probably my favorite food. I like to snack on cheese a lot. String cheese, any kind. Of course, I am partial to kind of the basic girl foods. I love chicken nuggets. I love chips. I like snacks. And I have gained some weight because I'm started to take care of myself and taking care of my diabetes. And when you take insulin, you tend to retain more weight, but when your sugar's high all the time, you're burning unnecessary weight from your body. So I'm kind of finding a good balance with that lately. What kind of phone do you have? Okay, I have Apple everything. I use an iPhone is the short answer to that question. But I also have a Mac computer, and I use an iPad for designing, lettering, that kind of thing. Do you speak any other languages? Not fluently. When I was in high school, I took German because I wanted to make my mom mad. And that actually worked out well for me because, it made her mad, and I was happy with that choice. As an adult, I am not happy with that choice because I don't know any German that I learned. I wish I would have taken Spanish because I feel as though in the area that I live in, I would have used it more frequently. But that's I speak some sign language, not a lot. We're teaching my son to do sign language, so I am kind of relearning sign, I guess, through like baby sign, but I don't know any other languages besides that. Number 6 is, what is the weirdest thing you eat? Oh gosh. I like ranch with everything. The weirdest thing I eat, honestly, don't know. That's hard. I like wheat thins and cream cheese, but I, again, don't see that as like a weird thing. Um, I don't know. I'll have to come back to that one. And the next one says, where were you born? I was born in Washington State. I was born here. Nowhere fancy. I'm not really prepared to like give away exactly where I live. So I'm going to like leave that alone with that. The next question is, what is your favorite hobby? Right now it's cross stitching, but I go through like phases, kind of like my sister does. I crochet. If you've been to my Etsy, you see that I crochet things. I also knit, which I feel like from watching FlossTube lately is like really common. But I cross stitch. That's my favorite right now. I knit. I crochet. I like to bullet journal. I haven't used a bullet journal in a while, but I really like drawing letters, and I'm fairly good at it. I might post something. I don't know if I'll post like a planner video now that I have this video camera, but yeah, those are kind of the things that I really like to do. What was your favorite subject in school? I liked English. Sorry, my dog is dreaming, so she's like running and her legs are by the wall. I liked English. I actually voluntarily took a creative writing class. Uh, so it's just, I love to write. Um, Anything I can do to get my hands on some literature or to write. I've won National Novel Writing Month once before. That was before I had kids, but it was a big deal for me. So I've done that. Let's see. How old are you? I am 29. I just turned 29 this year. Actually, in July. At the end of July is my birthday. What's the best job you've ever had? Honestly, being a mom is the best job I've ever had, but I feel like that's kind of a cop-out answer. I worked, oh gosh, I think best is defined differently because I worked at my high school job for almost 4 years, and I pretty much was like the baby, and I grew up there. I turned 18 while I was at work. I had to work past midnight the day before my birthday, so I turned 18 there, and they all surprised me when I went through my first big breakup. They, everybody was really helpful and, gave me advice and, made sure I was okay, and I feel like that was really helpful. They helped me through college. I used to sit in the lobby and just do my homework. So that was a fun job, and I feel like they are still part of my, not family, but like extended family. And then I worked at, I was a hostess at Olive Garden, and I feel like that's a really big family. Also, I worked there when I got pregnant with my daughter. So, like, any place that I've worked where I feel like I've become close with the other employees and, like, made a lot of friends that were long lasting, I feel like that was really helpful. Let's see, what's the worst job you've ever had? I worked at a call center for a phone company, and it was fun. Like, I made a lot of good friends there. And like we had fun in office, but talking to like some of the people made me literally just, I wanted to just be done. I wanted to leave that day. I almost walked out on that job several times. I had male customers try to hit on me. I had male customers call me really mean things that I won't repeat here. There was a lot of negatives. I, would leave crying all the time. But I did work there while I was pregnant with my son, and I made a lot of friendships there. It was just like the customers. Some people are so awful towards people that, it's not their fault that you're not getting the answer that you want. They're literally going off policy. And I don't think everybody understands that. In certain situations, and I get that that's hard, but some people just acted like little children about it, and I think that was the hardest part for me to understand, like, why are you acting like a kid when you're a grown adult? This is your phone bill, etc. See, what's your favorite color? This green, a variation of this green that I'm stitching is actually one of my favorite colors. I love lime green. I used to have a lime green Volkswagen Beetle until my daughter was about a year old, so 4 years ago. And I really loved that car. It was very me. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? In 5 years, I'll be 34 and I'll have a 10-year-old. And so honestly, I would like to be done with my bachelor's program by then. And I would like to be, I don't know if it'll take like obviously that long, but I'd like to either be pursuing my master's degree or be done with my master's degree and working for DYFS to be helping kids and elderly people. See, what sports do you play? I don't play any sports. I used to play volleyball when I was really young, and it was one of my favorite things. I got really competitive, and I feel like it was kind of toxic for me personally. But yeah, that was one of my favorite sports to play. Would you rather live in the city or the country? I live in quite like a middle of the road type area right now, and I honestly really like it. I like where I live just because it's quiet. We live close to the water. The weather's pretty mild. I do miss living in the South, and I miss like Southern food. But yeah, I like where I'm at right now. Um, Honestly, I can say that right now because it's like 80 degrees in my house, and it feels like I'm about ready to just flip out because it's too hot in here. But I think that this is an okay place to be living for now. I eventually would like to move on from this area, but I don't see that as a possibility. What kind of music do you like? I like all kinds of music. I like the 50s is like the era that I always say like, oh, I should have been born in, you know how some people say that. I should have been born in the 50s. I love, just that time period for music, that time period just for literally everything. Um, I my first kind of musical passion was for Elvis Presley. And I know that there's like people that agree with that or people that don't. You can keep your opinions kind of however, but when my mom, she dropped me off with my grandpa when she went to Vegas with my stepdad to go get married and to cheer me up because I was sad that I couldn't go because I was like 6 or 7 at the time. But to cheer me up, my grandpa played me Elvis records. And so it holds just like a special place in my heart that music could, make someone feel better. And my grandpa had like screws in his ankle and he got up and, danced with me to these records. And it just meant the world to me, like looking back on it, that he got up and did that for me just to try to make me feel better. He could have just been like, it's okay, go play, go watch TV or whatever, but he didn't. And I felt, that he had my best interest at heart. And it just sparked something that I was like, oh, okay. And then I heard his music on Full House, or probably around the same time. And John Stamos kind of reeled me into that, loving the artist himself. And so I can proudly say that I loved Elvis for that reason. And now that I'm older, I listen to Elvis like when I have bad days, and it just kind of triggers an automatic kind of response to just feel better and know that there are better things coming. I also really love Macklemore. I've seen him in concert twice. He's legit my first like concert in an arena, and I love his music also. I like that he is passionate about his family and he's open about his struggles with drugs and that kind of thing. And I just think that that's important as an artist to be transparent with those things. I'm trying to see where my camera's at. Let's see. What kind of movies do you like? I like scary movies. It's real weird. I used to from the time I was real little, I also like documentaries, but from the time I was real little, my stepdad worked nights, so he would get home really early in the morning, at like 3 or 4 in the morning sometimes. And he would come home and he would eat dinner, so to speak, when he got home, or breakfast or whatever. And so he always came in and said hi to my mom before, so she would know like somebody wasn't breaking in. So like as a kid, I would sleep on my mom's floor, so he would have to trip over me when he got home and wake me up so I could go sit with him and have dinner with him or breakfast or whatever. And we would watch, TV shows, Nick at Night or whatever. And when I was little, my mom, she likes scary movies, and so she would watch scary movies in her bedroom. Uh-oh. Four. We're just going to pretend that was on purpose. And so I used to lay on her floor and I would watch whatever scary movie she had playing. So I like the Chucky movies. I've watched since I was little. Just anything that gives you kind of that adrenaline rush, I guess. I don't know if that's fair to say, but I'm a big fan of scary movies. I also, I can't sit through like a sci-fi or a fantasy movie as well as some people can. I have to be doing something else and I'll probably have a bajillion questions. But I've tried to watch certain things that I know are important to people that I love. It's just hard for me to sit through and focus through. I don't have the attention span for it. What is your favorite vacation? Okay, so in Washington, there's a little Bavarian village kind of in the middle of the state called Leavenworth, and they are the coolest. But when I was a kid, they did this thing over President's Day weekend, which is in February, for people who might be out of the country. It's in February, and in February there it gets real snowy, so they would call it Winterfest, and they'd close off the main street and we'd go and they had like different games and different events all day for the whole weekend, and we'd rent a cabin with this other family and we'd all pile into these cabins and stay, and then we'd hang out together during the daytime, and it was really fun. And that's a couple vacations that I will never forget as a kid, those times. And also when we went to Ocean Shores, we had to stay in this hotel, and I remember reading R.L. Stine sitting in the hotel as a kid and just thinking I was real cool. I finished 3 books that weekend, so that was real fun. What places have you visited? I have visited a lot of places. I've never been out of the country, surprisingly enough, because we're fairly close to Canada. I've only been there on like Girl Scout trips where there's like this Girl Scout thing that they do where you make stuff to swap at the border, and it's called the Peace Arch they have there. And you didn't need like a passport or anything, you just had to stay on the American side of it, and you would go trade things that you made with other Girl Scouts. And so that's like the furthest north I've been. And then I've been to Washington, D.C. I've been to Virginia. I've been kind of all up and down the West Coast. I lived in Mississippi for a little bit, which kind of ties into the next question. What places have you lived in? We lived in Mississippi. I've been to Alabama and Georgia, kind of all across the states there. Texas, Tennessee. We toured for my 21st birthday. I toured Elvis's house, so that was really cool. That was a big deal for me. Do you have any animals? I think I answered this in my first floss tube, We have a cat and 2 dogs. So we have my cat, Henry, and we have his little mini terrier, Foxy, and then we have my Dalmatian, Pongo. What is your favorite ice cream flavor? This one goes back and forth. I really love Moose Tracks because the peanut butter cups are my favorite thing that they could have ever put in ice cream. I don't know why they didn't think of that sooner, but I love the peanut butter cups. And then I really like mocha ice cream as well. What is your zodiac? I'm a Leo. I fall right on the edge of Cancer and Leo, so that's fun. And then, have you ever had surgery? I have had a few surgeries. I had 3 as a kid. I have had some health issues since I was little that required surgery. I stayed at Children's Hospital for about 3 months. So that was not a fun thing, but I had 3 surgeries while I was in for that visit. I've also had my wisdom teeth removed. I was awake for that, but they still consider it a surgery because of the amount of medication I was on. They had to renumb me in the middle of the procedure. And then I've had 2 C-sections. So both my kids were born via C-section. And those, I mean, they went well. My son, I lost a lot of blood with my son. I could have died, to be completely frank, with the amount of blood loss that I had. So it was kind of a scary time, to be completely honest. And then the last question is, who's your favorite YouTuber? My favorite YouTuber, and I don't mean this against anybody in the floss tube community, but she is not a floss tuber, nor is she on YouTube anymore, but Jenna Marbles was my favorite YouTuber. Always, I just kind of anticipate the day that she feels that she's able to come back, and if she's not, I just hope that she is happy doing what she's doing, but she was always someone I could, her videos always made me smile, and if I didn't like it, I didn't post a comment, I just clicked off of it, and I think more people need to have that mentality, because those mean comments, and I don't care if I get mean comments on my video, this video at least, those mean comments that people make towards people can really mess with the mental state of the person they're being said to. That's not supposed to be there. It's there now. But yeah. I don't know time-wise what we're at, but I just wanted to do a quick stitch with me. I know I was probably talking really fast. And I'm going to probably do a couple more of these, or I might go live on my Instagram later. So if you see this and you want to, pop over to my Instagram. It's going to be Melissa Does the Things on Instagram, and that is all of this color that goes in that little square. So I'm going to fill in the accents and kind of go from there forward.